right, good morning, everyone. Hi, friends. Okay, most of you here are of known faces. All right, after going through Google Form as well as Word Wall, now I'm bringing you back to the oldest the oldest of method using the textbook. All right, you teach writing using the textbook. Okay, next, Tasha. All right, okay. First of all, let's look at continuous writing. Okay, when I did this, so I always have in mind students who score the weakest of weakest students, not even the D, not even the E, but we are looking at the G students. So I feel that it is very important that every pupil must be able to describe a personality or a person. Uh, we refer to textbook page 14. Okay, next, Tasha. All right, so if you had looked at page 14 just now, we find that the students have a lot of question marks. So what we do, we get the students to write sentences. For example, the middle, if you had looked just now, it says that, who are you describing? So the student just writes in the sentence, I am describing my grandfather. Then physical appearance, age. So ask the child to write a sentence. He is 50 years old. Okay, build. Okay, trust me, most of the students do not know what is built. For them, built is building. Okay, so maybe you have to maybe put in brackets and tell them what it is all about. All right, and then face. Okay, face, they look at you, they'll say, okay, he's dark, he's fair. Fair also, most of them don't know, huh? They might say he's white. Okay, personality. Okay, I'm sure most of you have taught novel, you know their character. Okay, so his character is kind. They cannot write he is kind. Okay, never mind. Habit. Habit, they will think habit is like hobbies. So his habit is fishing. Nothing wrong. Okay, because I'm looking here at students who are really very weak, who are not interested in studying. When you ask them to bring in their textbooks, they don't bring. So now they are at home, their textbooks are with them. Please tell them to open their textbooks. And please tell them, the Form 5 students, they are feel free to underline and everything because their book, this is the last year we are going to use the book. Okay, next, please. Okay. All right. So if you look at this continuous writing, which is in page 14 and 15, I insist, sorry, I'm doing, but I feel that every teacher has to go through. If you look at this essay that is in page 14 and 15, my most unforgettable character, you'll find that this essay is a very essay. In fact, it's an A script. All right. In fact, I had, when my students saw the word prune, they didn't know. They know what is dates. They know what is raisins, but they don't know what is prune. So probably, teacher, you have to put in a photo or what. All right. And based on this sample that they have in page 14 and 15, the students will be able to write the person I admire, my hero. Okay, even if you look at the past year questions SPM, every year there is something which you have to describe a person. Like last year, you had the chance to be someone else. Who would you choose to be? Explain what would be good about being that person. So if a child is able to describe, so if he can read through his textbook, which every child has, and if you look at what Chef Fazrina said just now, most of the students complain that their phone is not good. So all you have to do, you just have to write it in the WhatsApp or Telegrams, refer to page 14 of your textbook. Maybe you can pre-warn them or pre-tell them that you are going to use the textbook. All right?
Um, itu boleh ditonton oleh murid.
Okay. Can I? All right. Okay. And if you look every year, okay, Tasha, so you see this one they have got. When did you first meet? When you give your students, you just tell your students to understand. I first met. Okay, you will find weak students. They won't understand the relation between did and meet. So I first meet in 1981. Go ahead. Where did you meet? I meet in school. Fine. How did you meet? I meet through my friend. I meet on Facebook. Fine. Teachers, we are looking at okay, I'm here interested in getting students to pass. All right. And students who have the phone which cannot support anything. So this is how we will. Then memories of times together. All right, probably a child might say the memories we had is when we played football, something like that. All right, so you get, and then you see here when personality. Of course, here they have given the word humble, which our students might not know. You tell them tactful, they don't know, but friendly, they know. So maybe here, teachers, you can type in there. You can tell them, okay, instead of friendly, I mean, besides friendly, kind, words that are simple. Okay, reasons why he or she is unforgettable, how this person changed you for the better. And if you look at last year's SPM question, this is it. If the child had read this page, it will have helped them so much. All right. So I feel that please do not forget the textbook. Okay. So this is one way how you can teach students to write continuous writing. Students who are getting between 0 to 19, you'll find that they will at least by answering these questions that are there in page 14, the one I showed you earlier, they would be able to come up with an essay which is about 100 words, which I feel will be able to give them at least about 10 marks out of 50 marks, which means a lot to a child who has been sleeping. Okay. All right. Next, please. All right. I like to take you all to directed writing, which is in page 64, formal letter. So if you look at this in page 64, it's a beautiful thing that our textbook writers have done. So if you had seen just now, our first few presenters, they had used Google Form. So for our students who got the phone yang kokak, phone yang tak boleh, okay, tengoklah muka surat 64. So we ask them to fill in, okay, match that thing and fill in correctly. All right. Since they are going to be the last to use it, after this is going to be hapus kira. If they want to write here, fine. Later, once they have finished it, you can give them the answers to get them to check. All right. Okay. Next, Tasha. Okay. This is a task that you'll find in page 65. Okay. So what you can do, the question says, write a letter of complaint to your principal on your findings. Okay. It says that you can look into the following aspects of food and drinks sold, pricing of food and drinks, quality of food, value for money. Okay. So first of all, you get your students to give a title. So probably they might be able, okay, complain to principal. So they look at food, drinks, all they might get the idea canteen, because at the end below that there's an example. You may find out there's no price list for food sold in the canteen. So they might get the idea there. Okay, make sentence with the content points. Ask the pupils to make at least 3 sentences. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Types of food and drinks sold. So I'm looking at the weak ones. So they'll give me sentence like, there are many types of food and drinks sold in the canteen. The food sold are nasi lemak, fried cake, noodles, and cakes. The drinks sold are hot and cold. All right. Of course, there'll be a lot of grammar mistakes, but this is how. Okay, just earlier on the discussions, we say we look at it part by part. So if the students can just write for you 3 sentences just for the first content point, be happy, because at least you know that the child is able to do. And then after that, if you find that once they have tackled your written down all in sentence form for all the points, then you can ask them to write the letter, because the format was already given in page 64. Okay, next, Tasha. Okay, if we look at it, I'm not telling that formal letter is coming this year. But if you look at it, formal letter came out 1998, 2003, and 2013. All right. But if you look at the previous years, what has happened, report came out twice. Before that, speech or talk came out twice. And last year was article. But anyway, teachers, if you do not have any materials at home, using the textbook will be the best idea. Okay, next, please. Okay, Here you have another one that what you call it, you'll find it in your textbook. All right. So you ask students, pupils to read and understand the letter. Okay, here sometimes uh, what do you call it? We find that the topics, oh, my student don't know what is overdevelopment, landslide. Okay, teachers, we have to move. Students have to know. We try to go slow and we tell them, okay, this kind of questions might come out. Let them read the format letter, all right, and then after that, teachers can help by giving the meaning of the difficult words or asking the pupils to find or guess the meaning of the words. All right, next, please, Tasha. Okay, if you that was just now in page 166. Huh? So in page 167, this is a conversation whereby the students will find that the conversation between these people, Phairos, Gabriel, and everything, and the pupils can list down reasons for against hillside development and suggestions to overcome the problem. All they have to do is they have to underline. For example, let's look at Feroz. I'm against hillside development because it damages the environment and makes the area look bare and ugly. Okay, so the students will copy the sentence as it is. So it also teaches them how to make sentence structure. And if you look at suggestions, you look at what Wailing says. Okay, she says, sorry, not Wailing, Girija. She says that I think the authorities should also impose heavier fines on people or companies who don't have the required permits to carry out the hillside development. Okay, we find that students who are very weak, they don't know the meaning of impose. They won't know maybe even fines, but they will know permit because they all know this word permit very well. So they can guess and more or less come up with the meaning. Okay, next please. Okay. So you find that this question, that you feel strongly about the issue of hillside development, write a letter to the editor of Daily Mail in support of views against hillside development. Use points from the group discussion above as well as your own research to write your letter. So in your letter, you should include the following: reasons against hillside development, suggestions to prevent hillside development. So based on the sample on page 166 and the points that have been brought out in 167, the child will be able to come up with a formal letter. Okay, all right. Can we move on? Okay, this is just a sample of how I mark my students' work. This is old school, of course, whereby the student sends, okay, the student sends me and then I screenshot it and I mark it. All right. Of course, this is the olden style of doing it. But I guess there are, I mean, now most of you here are very young and you all have your new ways of doing it. But if not, you can just do it, get the child, because when we did directed writing, just ask them to write in sentence point and send it to you. All right. Okay. So next, Tasha. Okay.